Hey, Andy, Danny, how was your Thursday?
Hey Scott, thank you. Not bad. Hello Jamie.
Hello, Andy, Scott, everybody out there. Happy Thursday.
Yes, yes. Happy Thursday. Looks like we're going to have a good crowd. The counter is ticking as I talk. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come and join this webinar. And I got some pretty good stuff today. I think you're going to enjoy today's webinar. So let's get started. Before we do, let's go over our disclaimer here. Okay, we are not here to try to sell you any specific stock, investment, security, or anything like that. We are here to basically just we're content publishers. This is for educational purposes only. And hold on just a minute, I got something screaming in my ear. I got to close this out. Thank you. All right. Uh, all right, so once again, this is for educational purposes. If you are looking for investment advice, seek out somebody who can legally give you that, and that's going to be somebody who is licensed like a stockbroker or an RIA. All right, before we move on to content, let's talk about, well, I guess this is content, but 5-star support, education, and training here. You regulars, please bear with me. I know you hear this every time you come in. But some people have gotten wise and they only come in until maybe after 5 or 10 minutes after the hour. But it's important for the new people to know that we have tons of education and training here. And I'm going to go over some of it for you. Okay, the first and foremost place is the Trader's Room. It's free for everyone. It's moderated by a great trader and a great moderator, if I should say, is Barry Heinerson. If you haven't been in there, you need to get in there. You can just find it on our website, look for the trading room, and it'll walk through the steps to creating a username. But anyway, it's open once again for everybody. You can kind of see the software in action. There's a great number of good traders in there. They share ideas, and you get to see the product in action. And not only that, Barry is wonderful at really helping others. He wants to trade maybe for the first couple hours, but after that, he kind of opens it up. If you have any questions, he'll be happy to answer them. We have webinars Monday through Thursday in the 5 Eastern time slot, the same time slot as you're attending right now. Myself, Jamie, and Steve usually we handle about 3 of these, but on Wednesday, our Q&A/demo webinar, you get our CEO, Dan Merkin, and Brad Williams, our CTO. So you want to, if you can't make it in there, you'll find they'll show a lot of new bells and whistles that are going to be coming around the corner. And also, it's a great place to come to answer, ask questions. And then the support webinar, Scott will go over this again on a slide at the close here. It's every Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern time. Okay, it's been a good crowd. The people who do come, they love it. They learn a lot. You can ask questions, and we have a visual just like we do in this webinar, so we can show you and not just give you a text answer over some online portal. So this is the best place to go if you are looking for, to have questions answered about the software. All right, let's move on to the simulated trading. I'm going to talk about this because we're going to go over some stuff today, and I think you're going to maybe want to try trading some of these ideas in the simulated trading platform that we have. It's a cool interface. A great place to test your trading strategies, your portfolio management skills. It's directly done inside the software. You do not need a broker connection. You do not need a funding account. You use our interface called Brokerage Plus, and it's a really cool little module. And I've traded probably on 15 different softwares, it seems like, and I've never seen any interface as cool as this and clean and easy as this Brokerage Plus. All right, the agenda for today, guys, we're going to do the market recap and talk about this freight train of a market that just wants to keep moving higher. Don't fight it. Holly recap. I know Neo had some really good trades today. You know me, guys. I've been telling you for the last several months. That's what I like to keep an eye on. Jamie's going to hit up on some of the trades in there. There was definitely a couple of good trades from the Holly today. And then I don't know if any of you guys received an email. I put that together, a score based on score. Michael got bored over the weekend and ran some numbers on the score. We're going to talk about what he did, and it's quite impressive. So we'll talk about that, what we look for when we put together this score. We're going to compare it to the indices, and then we're going to maybe teach, get some ideas about how you can, track down using price alerts, when you see some of these stocks that may be extended, you don't want to chase, that's fine. I don't like chasing either, but maybe, put some price alerts in it and let the price come back to you. So, all right, let me back out and pull up the SPYs here. And there we have it, guys. There's a market that just keeps pushing higher. A couple of gaps here. As a matter of fact, we got 3 pretty big gaps, one there and one there and one there. Get my pen going here, see what I'm talking about. Gap, tried to move lower off that gap, went to high, same thing here, came down, took out yesterday's low, and then once again, just moving highs. Boy, you get a lot of head fakes. I know it's scary sometimes if you're in trades that are up here in the stratosphere. When the intraday action turns red, boy, you want to lock in those profits. But what happens is the market digs in and just continues to push higher. So let's take a look at where we are in the SPYs. Did we reach our level? We can just go over here to our horizontal line creator here and just climb. And nope, we're not quite there yet. Like Steve was saying on Tuesday, on this day, it's probably a foregone conclusion. You can't never bet the farm on something like that, but in all likelihood, I would say in this scenario, probably 95% of the time it will go and test that level. The time you load up and bet the farm is that 5% that it does it, and you have a big gap down and reversal the next day, and you lost your farm. All right, let's take a look at the Qs, which is quite a different story here. We have way surpassed the high back in February by a long shot. You can see there from 236 all the way up to 270. There's just no slowing down this monster, thanks to the likes of Apple, which, my gosh, it's crazy. Let's put this into perspective here. I mean, this thing has gone from basically on 6/3 of last year, so a little over a year ago, this thing was trading at 171. So basically has, what's that, almost a triple for a big mega cap like Apple. That's insane. That's insane. But they're doing a lot of things right, that's for sure. And of course we have the Amazons out there, which looks like it could possibly be setting up again for a move. It's interesting, this level. Definitely some sellers up here in Amazon. Every time it gets up these levels, they sell it. They sell it on this gap up. So let's see if it can get through, or the seller is going to come back in and push it back down again. We've had 3 times we're up to this level and sellers have come in. So we'll see what happens tomorrow there in Amazon. And then let's see. Oh gosh, I could go on and on. Let's see what Facebook, obviously, look at there, another monster move there in Facebook, all-time highs. So that's what's driving the technology sector, the QQQ. So with that said, Jamie, I'm just about done. There's no bear case to make. There's no sense in me drawing up lines of what could happen and all that. We're just kind of in clean air in the NASDAQ and close to all-time highs in the SPY. So I think you do have to watch this if we do get up there to all-time highs. Obviously, that was a huge, ugly move. We're going to possibly trace it all back in about 6 months, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and we'll see what happens. So, but I don't know what else to say, Jamie. It's just a strong market.
It is a FANG market, and looks like the S&P finally might get caught up.
Yep.
No hopes really about the IWM anytime soon.
Let's take a peek. And see what we got there. Yeah, it's a long ways away. That's still, you're talking about way over here. They never even took out their high
Yeah.
last time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, nothing's going to happen there anytime in the next few days. That's for sure. As far as getting anywhere near all-time highs. But
Well, thank you very much, Andy. Would you like me to grab it here and
sure,
talk
go
about
right
a
ahead.
few? We did have a few trades today that had some decent spread between the old conservative profit mode and moderate profit mode today. You know, kind of, I get the feeling the trade count today was a little high, 16 signals, a little high for what Holly's been spitting out here lately. And we did have a fair amount of losers down here. Overall performance wasn't too bad though. And keep in mind over here on the channel bar, these numbers are reflective of 100 shares per trade. Okay, so my numbers are going to look a little bit different because I'm only risking $100 per trade and letting the system size me accordingly. So this was a really great example today of a fairly low total in the conservative profit, risking $100. Keep in mind we were only in 33 shares here, but Holly pulled the plug pretty quickly. Zoom in just a little bit here. So this signal came pretty early. First one out of the gates here, about 5 minutes into the open. And a nice entry signal right there at 49.03. We get that thing that everybody loves, a little immediate gratification. Making a pretty good run to the top of that candle there. Let's see, I lost my data. Let me see if I can get it back here. I don't know why that happens from time to time, Andy. You lose your metrics up here. But what do we have? A high 53.49. So entry 49.03 and a pretty good run up to 53.49. And we can see right here, Holly is going to pull the plug at 51.30. So not a bad little gain there, but left a lot on the table. So at this point, when we see the AI exiting, taking a little bit more risk, hey, the thing's been moving up, marching up nicely ever since we bought it. So why not just stick with our original stop loss down here? Okay, it would have kept you in the trade all day. And then what I like about this one is it, throws a little bit of a wiggle, but notice how it reacts to the 10 period right here, the fast line. Gets a little below it right here, kind of reclaims it right here, but still doesn't get down to our stop loss level. Talk about this all the time. If you're not sure, peel out a half and then set a stop accordingly on your second lot. Now, unfortunately, if we did take half the money up here and we set a break-even stop, it would have got us. If we would have stuck with our original stop, not the case, would have kept us in it for the remainder of the day. And if we could have stayed in it until this point, there was a really great add opportunity once it finally broke that opening range there, okay? A little bit of a seller's come in there, not surprising, consider the little blip that it took up early, but then look, just flattens out nice and tight for the remainder. Get this nice little break here. And even though this doesn't look like a huge move here, my orange line is right there at 54.06, and this thing ran all the way up to 58. Okay, so there's another 3 points and change on the table there with a great add opportunity with a low risk. If we were going to add to that trade, could have used the bottom of the prior candle as a stop loss and just never even flinched like it was going to go down there. And the beautiful thing is adhering to that 10 period like a glove. Okay, so we really could have leveraged that trade if we were able to stay in it, take a little bit more risk than Holly. Would have panned out very nicely with a nice add opportunity later in the day for a little, what we might call afternoon delight on top of a winning trade there. So pretty high quality there in OTRK. Now let's take a look at BJ, because that was a short with a little bit more on the table there. So what do we have here? About not quite an hour into the market, about 50 minutes in, we get this short sell signal right here on BJ, 42.24. Much like the other one, get a little immediate gratification before a regression, not quite back up to the entry line. So same song and dance here, whether you took a little bit off the table down here, whether you saw Holly exiting right here for a whopping 16.26. Well, if you peeled off half somewhere in this area right here and used that break-even stop on this one, it would have kept you in. Of course, if we stuck to our original stop, which is my preferred method because that's why we have an original stop. That is the spot that we have to call uncle if the pain gets too great. And, you know, it's kind of like a coin flip when we're trying to play these break-even stops. About half of them will keep you in, depending on the day, and half of them will wiggle you out. The good news on that is that you've locked in something on the first slide, so it's still a profitable trade, just not near as much. But in this case, if we take a look at Holly's exit price, 42.10, what do we have at a maximum here? Right about 41.50. So another 60 cents maximum could have been gleaned right here. When we get down to this level right here, start thinking about peeling out. Hey, it's come down here. How are we looking on the daily? Is it butting up to an area that might act as some support? And, you know, bottom of this candle right here, kind of lining up with what we have to the left here, which did apparently act as a moderate level of support here before we turn back up. But plenty of time to make that decision to exit here. It's not like this thing was just, you know, going back up gangbusters. And what do we have here? As soon as we get back up here to the 10 period and we get a little bit of a close above, we do get a little bit stronger. But whether you got out right here or even held it into the close, not that big of a change, okay? But another 60 cents left on the table on BJ there. So those are two pretty good examples of trying to play some of the spread between conservative and moderate risk mode. And now let's take a look at what I like to call a trade around in this MTSI, which ironically, MTSI was the lowest volume stock traded today among all the AI trades. At least that's the way it looked about 15 minutes to the close. Might have changed a little bit, but it only kicked out about 353,000 shares, I think, total today. In any case, let's check out the action here, because why did the trade close? Let's look at the reason over here. Okay, it did get out early for a profit save. Not a bad move by the AI on early exit. It ended up, let's see, yeah, right at flat, okay? And then the stock proceeded to come down here, and it did go tickle that stop area. But these are the ones I like. When we come down here and we put in a little 15-minute wick right around that stop area, well, I got the wrong pointer there, right here. All right, we get that wick right below the stop area. This candle opens up. You know, this is one that I don't mind taking this setup right here is one that I don't mind taking a stab on most times, because we got that nice clean wick there. Tells us that sellers tried to take it down but couldn't keep control. Majority of the volume was done up here. And then we get this next candle opening up. We can easily take a pop and go, you know what? I'm gonna get a much better price than the AI down here. I'm gonna use the bottom of that wick. So in essence, taking the same or maybe even a little bit less risk with a better price. And we could have captured a good little move up here. You know, what do we get there? Let's see, at the top of that wick, we got about 41.41, and we're talking about, you know, 40.80, let's just call it 40.90. So not a huge move, but it's the pattern that's important. That's only a 50-cent clip, but a lot of the times they're going to be a lot bigger than that. So the focus here is seeing, you know, number one, the early exit. Later on, seeing the stock come down here and tickle that stop with a nice little wick put in, giving us the confidence to go, you know what, this might be a good little bottom fish on the intraday. Of course, we're not at absolute lows, but having that stop area act as a pivot, which they frequently do, you know, if they blow through the stops, well, we don't have an interest in them. But when they act like this, definitely a good trading opportunity for a trade around. And that's about all the commentary I have for Holly today, Andy, unless there's one that you'd like to go over here before I give it back.
No, that was very good. That's about it. Yeah, it was one of those days where Neo had a great segment there, and 6.0 did okay in conservative mode, but in moderate, yeah, just none of them really worked out as far as moderate in the Holly 2.0. All right,
Yes,
shoot
sir.
it back to me. Thanks,
okay.
Jamie.
You should have it.
I do. All right, guys. Well, so let's talk about, a lot of you guys probably received this email. I'm going to go ahead and just pull it up. This is an email that went out today. Trade Ideas score, that's our stock composite rating, smashes the indice. So over the weekend, Michael Noss started running some numbers. And what he was doing is he was taking first of all, let me explain. Let me go ahead and, for some of you guys who don't know what SCORE is, SCORE is it's a short for stock composite rating. We put this together. It was kind of my brainchild. I wanted to find something that can compete with some of the other ones out there, because I knew our data, no one has real-time alerts like we do. And so I knew our SCORE would act in real time versus what you might find. I'm not going to name any names, but to some of our competitors who will have a SCORE on a stock. The next day they have earnings. They may have changed now. I haven't been there in a while, but I've seen these scores maintain even after maybe a 30% haircut from the stock, and then they would change them maybe 3 or 4 days later. You're not going to find that with our technology and our SCORE, because these will move around in real time. If they break certain moving averages, fall out of position in ranges, just kind of giving you some ideas of what we included in here as far as our metrics. Definitely looking at intraday, some intraday stuff. Most of it's daily, moving averages, position and range. There's some fundamental data in there. You'll kind of get a good idea of what I'm looking for. We can't obviously give away the secret sauce, but I'm going to go over some stocks and kind of tell you what to look for, because I've seen these kind of stocks that have these sorts of attributes are the ones that can really stay in this composite window for a long time. So anyway, it's a really good way. It has about 17 metrics, and it's just really good way to look at a number and get an idea of how strong technically and fundamentally a stock is just by looking at its SCORE. And what I like to do is make sure you add a SCORE in your stock composite rating. Okay, you have the window to do this. It's just basically a column. So make sure that you have the SCORE listed, so when you're going through and looking at stocks, if you're trading momentum, maybe it doesn't mean that much, but if you're looking for maybe a swing trade or maybe an investment, hey, you might want to keep an eye on that SCORE. If you look up there and you see it in the low 40s, maybe you want to back off. So it's a great little tool, especially for swing traders and investors. So as a matter of fact, we've tried or pushing some of these ideas to some of our professional clients. All right, so the email, getting back to the email. Let me get off my pointer here. Get back on my pointer. All right, so Michael ran some numbers, and this is what I want you to look at, this little segment right here, okay, because we the first part of it just kind of explains how I explained SCORE to you. But so Michael ran some numbers, and this is how we ran it. The allocation is important to see what he did. If he took at the first of each quarter, the first day of each quarter, take the top 25 stocks with equal weighting and trade a minimum of 1 million shares average daily volume. That's not a lot. But it's going to eliminate some of these stocks that may have crept in there that only do about a couple of 100,000 shares a day. We're looking for stuff that's liquid. So those are the parameters we used he used when he was selecting these top 25 stocks. And then all we did was basically just took the top 25, starting at the top with the SCORE of 100 or whatever the best score would be, and going down for the top 25. So good stuff there. And if you didn't receive the email, now I'm going to pull up some numbers that will kind of blow you away. And I was really shocked by these. Obviously, we're going to be tracking just to make sure it's not some sort of anomaly. But this was done for quarter 1, quarter 2, and the start of quarter 3. Obviously, we're still in quarter 3. But you buy these in the first of each month. Okay, and then you sell them at the end of the quarter, because what's going to happen is you just don't want to keep the same ones in there, because that you need to rebalance. The next quarter, some of those fell out of that composite rating, the high end, and more moved in. So you're basically rebalancing and doing the same thing over for subsequent quarters. And these are the numbers. If you had applied this method and and done exactly as Mike did when he researched this. Look at score compared in the first quarter here. This is the way it reads. Okay, this is the first quarter right here going down. Okay, the SPYs had almost twice as much downside as the composite rating stocks. Qs held on pretty good. They actually did better. Okay, this quarter Qs were the winner. But look at the second quarter when we rebalanced and ran it the second time. Qs increased by 15%. Look at the increase in the second quarter for the score stocks. And from the beginning of the third quarter until yesterday, well, this may have been actually, I put yesterday, but this could have been a couple of days ago. Qs were up 7.35% and score stocks were up 11.5%. So the totals here, you can see Qs, the scores really outshine the others by a margin of 12.7% over the Qs alone. Okay, and you can see they're almost I don't know what that is, 2.5 times over the SPYs, but very impressive. So, sorry, I'm reading a question over here. No, it doesn't matter. He said, what happens if the stock goes out of the 25 list before the end of the quarter? It doesn't matter. There's no selling and buying during the quarter time. You're stuck with whatever you bought in this method with in the way Michael ran the numbers anyway. Maybe we'll get fancy and do things like that in the future, but we're trying to keep it kind of simple right now. You buy the top 25 stocks in the composite rating at the first of the quarter, and there's no selling. You hold those until you liquidate those at the end of that quarter, and then of course you rebalance. And if that stock you're referring to is no longer in there, it will not be in on the second quarter numbers. So some great stuff there, guys. I'm going to kind of see if there's anything else I need to touch on inside this. Yeah, just talk about the numbers. A lot of you probably got this email, and I think the key is in here is I make a statement. So yes, we are going to catch the Amazon, Googles, and Apples, but we're also going to find those hidden gems and mini services that miss. And I think you'll find that. I think you'll find that you're going to catch some nice looking stocks. I'm going to go over a few that's in today's composite that would have been in there several days ago that had a really nice breakout. And so let me just pull that up right now, and we'll go over. Just want to make sure everybody can see the numbers we're talking about there in that email. All right, so here is the stock composite rating, and it's very simple. Okay, we're going to look at the configuration here. Yes. Is the window pre-built? Yes. You know what? I used to have it in the Trader's Vault. I'm going to share it with you. It is pre-built. I will share it with you before we leave today. It's nothing fancy about it. You can see mostly when it comes to top lists, you don't want to use a lot of filters because you can sort by any column you want to. So you're going to get the top 25 stocks just by sorting on score. So all I'm doing here is just using price over $5, average daily volume, 10-day, 300,000. This is in the one I'm using. Now remember, versus stocks had to be averaging at least 1 million shares a day. So he did eliminate some of these stocks that may have only been trading, 300, 350,000 or something like that. I think you're going to find most of these in here are going to be trade over 1 million shares because they're in play. Okay, they're high demand. Okay, anytime you have high demand, it's going to push up volume. All right, and very simple. That's it. These are my only filters, and the stock composite rating has to be above 90. When you're creating top lists, keep the filters very simple because you can sort by whatever column you want to, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that's it. I mean, you saw the filters, and now all I do is got to sort by score. I know the highest score is going to be on top, so I don't need to put in any sort of fancy needs to be up on the day metric. No, I'm just looking for the strongest stocks because I have all these filters built into my score parameter, okay, which has to be around, they get points for where they are based upon technical and, like I said, fundamental metrics. So let's take a look at some of these top stocks here, the ones that are hitting 100. Now, of course, the market's at all-time highs. This thing is pretty full. You can see I'm scrolling down the whole list here, probably 50 stocks, and I'm still at 94. So there's probably 100 plus stocks in here, or maybe not quite that much, but close to 100 anyway. Don't worry. When the market pulls back, we get a nice, 5-day sell-off or something like this. This will thin out, and what will happen is the cream of the crop will probably be left in here. So, all right, let me get a drink of water here. And let's pull up the top stock right now according to our stock composite rating, which is GSX. And I would venture to say probably we got a lot of people in here today. I bet you, over probably 70% never even heard of GSX. I didn't till the other day, maybe about a couple of months ago. And what this is, it's elementary and secondary schools, and I imagine this is online stuff. Obviously, smart money probably came into this, when coronavirus started hitting up. I'm assuming. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
I think you're right, Andy, because
Yeah.
we were looking at it today in the live support session.
Okay. Okay.
And it's in China.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. What was that other? That was another one. EDU, isn't that one that's also China of? Yeah. It's. But
Yeah.
maybe they don't do. I'm not sure if they do online, but it is an educational group in China.
Andy, do you recall a symbol probably in the early 2000s, COCO? COCO?
Mm.
Remember that was a high flyer too, Corinthian College. Yeah,
But that's in Apollo. Remember Apollo? Is that still
nowhere
around?
to be found now.
No. Let's see over here. See the last date. This thing, 01. Apollo.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but GSX. So here's what I want to talk about, guys. I'm going to point out to you. Like I said, we can't give away the sauce, but I'm going to kind of keep it because I'm not going to tell you how the value system works and how many points you get for being X amount of cash debt ratio or X amount of earnings growth and things like that. But I'm just going to point out some things to kind of keep an eye on you so you can catch moves like this when you see them coming through your stock composite rating. So take a look at GSX. Beautiful breakout right here. Okay, look at that. 4 just incredible days all the way from basically 92 to 131. Okay, now I'm not going to go back in time and show you this, but I'm pretty certain this would be in here on this day and probably even several days back in here because it was at an all-time high then as well. So yes, you would have seen this in there a lot sooner, but even if you didn't, I'm going to kind of give you an idea of things that I'd like to keep an eye on. And I love to see kind of low cash debt. You can see here they got 221 million in cash and only 57 million in debt. That's a pretty strong cash debt ratio. Another thing I love looking at is revenue growth. I think most of you guys in here know that I kind of look for that, revenue growth. Earnings per share, that doesn't excite me as much as some of this other stuff because just experience. I've seen stocks, that have an earnings of just incredible EPS, but their stock is just getting destroyed. So, and first and foremost, we are technicians here. Okay, I just like to throw this kind of stuff in when I'm looking, possibly for some, from some explosive moves. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. We're going to take a look at the top ones on here, and then we'll maybe try to find some down lower. All right, the next one is Wayfair. All right, wow, look, what do we have again? Almost the exact same chart with even more momentum in this Wayfair right there. Breakout. What do we see here? Cash. This is pretty good. I mean, it's about even. That's not bad. You know, I get a little nervous when I see these, you know, stocks with, it doesn't mean they can't keep running, and it will not keep me out of a trade. But if I'm investing, if I'm putting my money to work like in a 401k, you know, and I look up there and I see they have 30 million in cash and they have 2 billion in debt, you know, I'm raising my eyebrow a little bit. I know that's more than just, you know, creative financing, you know, at a low interest rate. But look at this revenue growth. Wayfair just explosive. You know, those are just very strong, and you can see all-time highs. Look at that move in the last week there in Wayfair. And really, they did have earnings. I guess it was yesterday. Yep, they had earnings yesterday. So strong there in Wayfair. Clear that. Get my pointer back up. Let's take a look at this EXPI, and not bad again. You know. So you're seeing the same kind of similar stuff with all these. Look at there, 54 million and only 1 million in debt. Not bad. Look at the revenue growth. That's strong. It's not only that, it's only a $20 stock. When you bought it here and you had a nice little 3 days, you can, like I said, you can find these setups in here, and you know, just kind of showing you some of the stuff I would be looking for. Now let's take a look at some of these others. I'm not going to sit here and mark them all up. Overstock is one that, boy, let's face it. 3 months ago, Jamie, we'd probably laughing Overstock. You know, gosh, isn't that one of those internets that never, you know, could do anything? And
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're getting all this merchandise that nobody can sell, and they're trying to push it. But gosh, look at them. Look at them. The last month and a half here, from there all the way to
We
there.
cratered down to like $2.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll show that here in a minute. And once again, guys, look, nice cash position. Look at that revenue growth. Somebody's shopping there. Yeah, it's just, boy, a lot of these ones, you know, you threw out with the baby with the bathwater a long time ago. That's for sure. And going back to what Jamie was talking about, yeah, looky here, just back in March, for crying out loud, $2. Jeez. That's like AMD, you know, that thing was trading around $3 or $4, I think, too, at one time.
Mike, am I looking at a cryptocurrency chart? No, that's Overstock.
Exactly. Etsy, you know, same time. You're going to find a lot of high revenue growth, guys, in these big big charts. And we're not going to go sit here and go through all of these. I'm thinking maybe in one of the upcoming webinars, I'm going to maybe try to create some sort of alert where I can catch these stocks maybe when they first enter this. I'll have to do it with some sort of a window, an alert window, but maybe I can do like a new high and a position and range to ensure that it's breaking out of a certain range, and then kind of bracket that score column so I can catch them, you know, when they first enter in here, like around, you know, 90 or something like that. But anyway, I'll have more about that in the future. So yeah, I wanted to end up on, guys, because you know, these were some incredible numbers that Michael ran, and so obviously there's telling you there's value in this composite rating, but you just don't want to go and jump in, you know, anything that's in here, and no matter where it is, you know, like the example that I just gave you in GSX and Wayfair. I don't want to chase on this high. Now, I say that this thing may be at 150 come Monday or Tuesday, but I would prefer to catch these things, you know, at least maybe below 100 on something like this, a setup like this. Same thing goes with Wayfair. You know, I'd like to catch this in the first couple of days, not way up here. So what we can do here, and I'm not going to share these, guys. I'm not putting something together, you know, for us to share, but I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of what you might want to do as you're in the evenings. You know, this is a great scan because you can see the market has closed and there's still data in here. That's because we have it set on live during market hours. I love using my top list on live during market hours because what happens is they freeze. I can get some great ideas. Like this Amgen over here, I know it's bouncing off its 50-period moving average. You know, maybe that's something I want to watch. That's the great thing about top lists being set at live during market hours. So what I would do is just, if you're looking to buy some of these, just, set some alerts, set a pullback alert. And it may be something where you come in here and you set it and say, well, it's had a huge move. If this thing comes back to close to this 100, I want to, maybe get into it. Maybe it pulls back here and you can, buy it at a much lower price. Same thing goes with Wayfair. Now, that's not always the case, set some alerts. Maybe it comes back, I try to estimate where the 10 period moving average will be. If it comes back, maybe around right in there, if we has 3 days of pullback. You don't always have to, buy the ones at the very top of the chart. Okay, these are very strong too. You can find some really good winners in this. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do something to get more data in here. And the way you can do that is you can go to time frame, set record count. I have in here 50. I'm going to change it to 100 and hit OK. And now I got a lot more stuff to look at. Maybe I can catch some of these ones, down here in the the low 90s that are not so far extended. They're not through their all-time lifetime highs. The trade of the week. There's no trade of the week. 90 Lennar. Composite score of 93, still looking good. This is one. Surprised it didn't. I'm surprised it didn't go today, but maybe you come in here and you set a price alert, because if it takes out that high, that's how you want to, maybe trade these things. Now, I would be disappointed if it took it out today and it didn't go through. 74.35. So it did, and went through by 3 pennies and failed. So, yeah, maybe the second time through will work, but Sky works. So anyway, guys, the numbers are there. Okay, Mike ran them. These stocks are strong, and they usually probably continue to be strong, looking at the numbers that we ran over the weekend that Michael ran. So that tells me these are really good quality stocks. Okay, they're not just blips on a radar that enter into this score composite rating above 90 and then disappear. No, these are solid. It makes me feel like the technical and fundamental metrics I'm using, there's something there. So yes, Lynn was the TOW. That's right, bullseye. Can all these 10 windows properly adjust a line on LCD 32-inch monitor? Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah. It's just another monitor. Yeah, you shouldn't have a problem there. All right, so let me go ahead and share this. I'll go ahead and share it with the all these. I'm sorry, with the record count set to 100, so you can see them all in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop them in the chat window. It's a composite rating. I don't have Mike C here today, Jamie. I feel kind of hurt.
Oh no, he's here.
Oh, is he here? Okay, I didn't see him in there earlier. I was like, where's my boy? Okay. Oh, okay. I see a few things in there. Yeah, he's just not as vocal as he normally is. All right. Well, that's all I got today, guys. Okay, Mike's trying to keep awake. Come on, man. Am I that boring? All right. That's all I have today. If anybody wants to look at a couple of stocks, I could do that real quick. Otherwise, I'll bring Scott in here and he can walk us out. You guys hang on. He will have a discount code for you. And I'm not seeing a whole lot flying in here, so I'm going to go ahead and bring Scott in. And thank you guys for your great questions today.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Couple things as we leave. Don't miss our daily support sessions. There's one tomorrow. There's one every weekday at 12 noon Eastern. Just go to trade-ideas.com/live to go to our live YouTube channel, and you can ask questions in the chat. They'll also demonstrate any new things that are going on with the software. There's a great ebook about earnings season, since we're kind of about that time now, isn't it? Trade-ideas.com/earnings. There's some strategies on how to use earnings season to your advantage. You can also import some cloud links into your layout to make use of the author's favorite scans for that. Trade Ideas Podcast. We have some great episodes already out this year. There'll be some more coming soon. So search for Trade Ideas Podcast wherever you subscribe, add us as a subscription, and download some of the previous episodes. The code summertime will save you 15% off your first month or year of Trade Ideas. Also good for doing an upgrade. So write that down and use it before we change the code. You can follow Jamie Hodge at QuantBot on Twitter. Steve Gomez is at Stay Trader. Also look for at Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas Pro is the Facebook handle to like and share everything with all your friends. And any questions, shoot it to the info@trade-ideas.com email. Goes into our help desk. And if you want to watch the recording of this, just stay tuned for an email tomorrow with a link to the playlist where you can find it. It'll be the newest video on that playlist. Thank you, Andy and Jamie. Have a good Thursday.
Thanks, everybody. I saw a few questions come in late. Try to catch the support webinar tomorrow. We'll answer them or send that info. Send it to info. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Yep. See you later. Bye-bye.